Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Mountain Blade Hints and Tips with me, Ultra Fun. Now, today we are going to be talking about different terrain types and different ways to set your troops up and different battles in general, not just the standard let's kill hundreds of bandits sort of battles. We're talking about full-on war. Not to mention maybe taking over a city or two just to show you what the whole thing is like. Now, as you've seen before, this is just going to be a standard fight against some looters. Now, that's not the important part. The important part is showing you what about the terrain's all about. See, the terrain in this game has a couple of different variations, but obviously they all look kind of different. But the variations are the same. Such as sometimes there's lots of grass and lots of trees and lots of rocks. Sometimes there's nothing at all, it's just a massive open field, which I will also touch upon a bit later on. So, here we are, we're on a different battle now. Same situations, looters, whatever. But I really wanted to show you about the terrain. I mean, look at this! Look at this field! Wonderful! However, there are downsides to this field. Even though, yes, it's a field full of nothing. If we were fighting the Khuzaits, who like their horses, this would be a death trap. Because obviously they like to surround you with horse archers and just obliterate an army of horse archers. Now the thing is with that, is that we don't want that. We really don't want that. So, if you're ever going to fight a load of horse people, your best bet is to be in the woods. It's simple as that. Use the terrain against them. Do not give them an inch. Otherwise, they'll just circle you and try to kill you. But there are different ways of handling that situation. You don't necessarily have to line everybody up. There are different formations to use. But again, we will cover that in just a second once I show you the rest of the terrain types. And this is what we call a siege. Now the thing is, in siege is the castles can be set up differently and the positioning of everything can be set up as well. Where these X's are should be trebuchets, but we haven't built them, so it's fine. But at the moment we have got our little siege tower and we've got loads of different, well, we've got the ram and we've also got the siege tower, and their catapult is, as it hasn't loaded yet. Well, apparently it's not there yet. I think it might be up there. I don't know, I can't see it from here. Now what this, I think it's actually there. What this allows you to do whilst you're looking around is you can position your troops using the keys 1 through to 8. Obviously you've got your infantry, your bow, and then another set of infantry and bow, and so on. You can literally place them anywhere you want to as long as it's in with this little white line. And you can't really see it, but there's like a, yeah, see the little, you get white flags right there? They run right across the middle of the map. Now, like I said, certain siege maps are bigger than others and other maps are smaller, which means the line may be a bit closer, and sometimes the walls are actually a little bit lower, sometimes a little bit higher. It depends on the actual castle and where you're fighting. What I tend to do is I tend to line my archers across, because if you've got really good archers, like I have, then you will know that your archers will see and they will shoot and they will most likely kill anything in their way. But as you can see, we're stuck here because we can't really position them out. So what we'll do is we'll auto-deploy for now, and then we'll begin. Now yes, you can just tell everyone to charge, and that's fine. You can do what you want. But in my personal opinion, that is not effective. It just won't work. Everyone will abandon what they're doing, like pushing the siege engines, and they'll just, you know, like I said, they'll charge at the main door and not do anything. Which is kind of stupid. Obviously their catapult is actually assaulting us, so we are going to get hurt. We're going to lose a couple, but we have got enough. Now also during siege battles, you can dismount your horse by pushing Z, and if you really want to be part of the team, you push F, and you can push the rams. The same applies with the siege tower. You can push that too, but the only problem is you have to remember that they've got archers as well, and they'll be shooting at you too. So really, in this situation, pushing the ram or pushing anything is a bad idea. Even if you want to simulate that whole experience, it's not a good idea because the catapult is shooting at us and we're probably going to die. Now you have to also remember, when I say die, I actually mean it. Because in this game, you can actually die. It's not so much as being knocked out, that happens too. But you can physically die. And if you don't have like a wife or an heir to your throne or a bloodline lineage, then your whole team is dead. Okay? It's over. Game over, you start over again, and it can be quite soon. Okay, we've got a bit of a problem now. What's happened is we've come across an army, but the problem isn't the fact it's an army. The problem is that they outnumber us like 2 to 1. So it's going to be a massive fight. However, because I have good quality troops on my team, I mean they're like some of the best, these guys might not even stand a chance. I mean, I'm going to assume that they've got, well, it says there, cavalry, infantry, ranged and archers and things like that. It doesn't tell me the quality. It just tells me what they've roughly got. So as you can see, cavalry 7, infantry 66, range 28, horse 18. So they've got quite a few horses, quite a few infantry. I'd say it's an average kind of army. There's a bit of everything. And he looks too young to be fighting anyway, so whatever. Now if we win this, we're probably going to end up by killing everybody. Just because. But they do not fight like looters. Now, we're on a quite open terrain again. But this time we're going to play a little bit differently. And actually it's not really helping us with the terrain. So we're going to put our archers there. And then we're going to change their parameter. So we're going to turn them into a circle. Soldiers! We're going to bring our soldiers back. And all our horses back. Stick them in one place. Now you see the archers are now in a circle. So you see their horses coming over? We're going to put our infantry into a shield wall. So they can't actually do anything. We're going to get our horses to attack by pushing F1 and F3 to charge. And then hopefully we'll get something done. You see the archers will still try to shoot. Sometimes they'll hit, sometimes they won't. Remember, these are moving targets. So it's really down to us to try and sort this out. This is the advantage of using an axe, but remember, if you could use a bow, you wouldn't even need the horse. You just stand back and ping your arrow. We're going to get our horses to come back. Forward! And here comes their army. Shock. What we're going to do now is we're going to line up our archers. Side by side! Line up! I don't want to worry about the mess, it's fine. And then we're going to get everybody to attack. Now, like I said, this is where the quality comes in. If your troops are quality, then they will fight as well and they will kill most of these themselves. But remember, if you died during the battle, this green will disappear into just red. There'll be red and a couple of hints of green and it'll be over. Yes, we're taking more damage this time, but we've already killed 200 and something as opposed to their 9, as you can see in the blue figures. And now our men are all disorganised, so what you need to do is bring them back. You need to refocus them, otherwise they're just going to run off, headless chickens and run into a huge army. Because remember, they're still 309 strong. So if you run at them with a disorganised army, they're just going to pick you off one at a time. Or they're going to reform a wall and try to, again, pick you off. See, now we're picking them off because they're running at us all scattered. Yeah, tell the horses to go this way. I'm going to tell the horses to attack. We're going to get our infantry to attack because our bows now having to fight. Let the infantry run in and then tell the archers to stop firing because they'll draw their swords and they'll fight too. remember there's still 300. Look at his archers just pinging arrows from the distance. But the eye can go across these places. And whilst we're still fighting, our men are still pushing, which is fantastic. They're fighting like there's nothing left. So remember, there's two groups in the game that predominantly use horses. You've got the Azerite and the Crusades. And they're the ones who tend to use a lot more horses than anything else in the whole game. Whoa! You gotta be careful. Now that they're all running away, we can put everyone back on bows and we'll just shoot the stragglers as they run. Okay, so here we go. We are actually fighting on the outskirts of the desert village. And the thing is, when you're fighting in a village, the maps are a lot smaller. But also, you have to negotiate buildings. You know, buildings are a bit of a nuisance because they get right in the way. But also, you can use them to funnel the enemy troops. Which is fine. It's good. Remember, we're only fighting looters just for an experiment. So as you can see, you've got different terrains, things get in the way. And it can be a bit of a kerfuffle. A bit of an issue. Because you're not sure where they're coming from because the buildings mask their location. And yeah, it can be a bit of a nuisance. Just over there. Oh, and they're coming for me as well, so we'll just send our guys to deal with them because, let's face it, they can't really do much about me. There's only 80 of them, and we're like 250 strong. See, it's already over. They're running. Mind you, looters tend to anyway. They tend to lose a couple of people and then they're just gone. They just don't hang around. And it's over. Hardly anything there, but you know, it was alright. It'll do. Now, I can't seem to get a good look on the actual woodland areas, but what I can say about it is that when you're fighting in a woodland area, there are lots of trees. I mean, it can be very confusing at times as to roughly where you are. And there's lots of trees, very, very dense areas. But there we are. That's another video done. And thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. And we'll be doing some more of these, obviously. And remember to like and subscribe. And we'll do some more of this another day. Bye!